Hello, church. It's good to be with you, I guess, virtually. If you've been tracking with us so far through the daily devotionals this week, you've noticed that we are starting to introduce the idea of God's law. And then yesterday, Robbie walked through the big picture of the Ten Commandments. Today, for question 9, we're going to actually zoom in a bit on the first 3. So if you've not read the Ten Commandments, you can find them in Deuteronomy chapter 5. I think for us, at least for me personally, during this pandemic, the first 3 questions really hit on something that I'm tempted to do. I am really tempted to make God into who I think He should be, or that He should act in the way that I think He should act. So for example, I think God should end this pandemic, or at least protect me from it. Or maybe God should at least provide certain provision for me and those that I know if God truly is God. Or, I fill in the blank. This could go on and on and on, couldn't it? We have this idea, though, of who God should be and how He should act. We start to form God into what we think He should be. Well, the first 3 commandments of the 10 commandments certainly get at this. And it's what we're going to cover today in question 9. Here is question 9. What does God require in the first, second, and third commandments? Here's the answer. First, that we know and trust God as the only true and living God. Second, that we avoid all idolatry and do not worship God improperly. And third, that we treat God's name with fear and reverence, honoring also His word and works. Zoom out a little bit. God is commanding us to know, to trust, and to worship and honor Him for who He actually is, objectively. Whether I think He should be a certain way or do a certain thing, no matter what I feel about Him, that doesn't change who God is. And now God is commanding me to actually know and trust and honor and worship Him for who He actually is. This helps to bring some perspective to me. This is a one-way street in some way, isn't it? God is who He is, and He's perfect in all of it, no matter what I personally experience or feel, no matter this pandemic, no matter what I think He should do, and maybe I'm disappointed, so to speak, in Him. He's not doing what I think He should do. That does not change who God actually is, and He commands me to worship Him for who He is and not for who I want Him to be. If I worship Him for who I want Him to be, it's not actually worshiping God, it's worshiping an idol. And so these first 3 commands are really, really specific for me and for us in that. But also understand the beauty in this. This God for who He actually is knowable for us. We don't have to wonder who He actually is. We don't have to worry that He's going to change. He's given us His Word, the Bible, where we can actually know Him for who He is. And more than that, He sent us Jesus, who has lived out and shown us in time and space, revealing to us who God actually is. That is a beautiful thing, a beautiful truth that you and I get to rest in together, Christian. And so, again, what is this question? Question 9, this is the question. What does God require in the first, second, and third commandments? And the answer is this. First, that we know and trust God as the only true and living God. Second, that we avoid all idolatry and do not worship God improperly. And third, that we treat God's name with fear and reverence, honoring also His word and works. Let me leave us with this passage out of Deuteronomy 6, verses 13 through 14. It sums it up for us. It is the Lord your God you shall fear. Him you shall serve, and by His name you shall swear. You shall have no other gods, the gods of the peoples who are around you. Have a great day, church.